I've now, because I was really disappointed to find out that we weren't just a second ago. And that's not the normal intro. But what's up, beautiful people? This is Gary Horne, and this is the NWA, the show celebrating the past, present, future, history, legacy, and tradition of the greatest entity in all of wrestling. It's the National Wrestling Alliance. If it sounds funky, it's just because we just did this and we were just talking for like 10 minutes before we realized we
were 20 minutes into the show, and I get a text from Certified Hustler asking where we're at. I'm like, wait, hey, Gary, man, we went down to, I guess we're going to do it again now. That's all right. That's all right.
We'll just run it down. What's up, everybody? Did you know about Hard Times 2?
It's happening. It's happening.
Yeah. It's happening. Hard Times 2 this weekend, Saturday, December the 4th. It's going to be huge. NWA Power tapings. We're going to have a brand new show taping on Friday. It's going to be a big weekend for the NWA. And then tonight, of course, we got this awesome show featuring the champ, Trevor Murdoch, sitting next to the former champ, Nick Aldis, in a really nice studio environment, a sit-down interview. And Rob, I don't think we've had access like this before to see these guys not only talk about what they're currently doing, talk about their past matchup, which is a cool thing all in itself, and them to add commentary to a matchup between the legendary Terry Funk and Harley Race in a world's title match of their own. So just, I got to ask from a historian like yourself, I mean, how's that feel?
It's pretty surreal, kind of incredible. Now, you and I have been fortunate enough just through our work with the NWA and being at some of the tapings, and we've been able to be with Nick Aldis and pick his brain, and we've been able to be with Trevor Murdoch and pick his brain, but we've never been able to be with the two of them together because they've never really been up until here, you know, in the last few weeks and months. They've never been on really speaking terms, civil terms. But I don't know. I mean, you think about it. You always dream, guys like me, guys like Gary, always dream about, hey, we're going to meet a couple guys at the bar and they just happen to be two world champions. And we're going to pick their brain about one of the most epic, you know, encounters in history, Harley Race and Terry Funk, and just let them spill it out, let them shed their expertise and enlighten us. I mean, these are guys that knew Harley Race intimately. They knew him. They were in this particular episode of 10 Pounds of Gold. They were anticipating his moves. Almost like they were students, and you know what? They were students of his. So it was really, really cool. I mean, these are the kind of things that I think people that are really, real deep fans of wrestling tradition and history, I'm talking about your real NWA fans, this is exactly the kind of thing that they hunger for. And it was neat that the NWA was able to bring it to us tonight.
Yes, it was. And so just exciting to see that. I've never seen that match between Terry and Harley before, so that was really cool. And like you said, just getting perspective from two guys that have obviously been in the ring like that and had their own battle. And then, speaking of, getting to see them discuss their own battle that they had. I'll be honest with you, Doc. I mean, I haven't had a chance to just sit down and really soak that matchup in. We were fortunate enough and we're grateful that we were there live and we got to see it, but to be able to see it on screen like that and get it from all the different angles and perspectives, that was really cool. I enjoyed that.
It was cool. Yeah. I haven't, you know, for me, that was the night that the music died, you know what I mean? And we've been kind of spiraling since, at least as far as the world title picture goes, and the brain space of Nick Aldis, who I still insist, in spite of where we're at right now, still insist he is the greatest world champion of the modern era, perhaps maybe of all time. And I know a lot of people take issue with me at that, but I'm willing to defend that proposition. It's neat to see the juxtaposition of the Terry Funk Harley Race match, and then right after that, Nick Aldis and Trevor Murdoch. Not only because we got to get their analysis of that match, the Harley Race and Terry Funk match, but then get to see them in a similar encounter with the exact same stakes on the line. It's just kind of neat. And it made me think, man, there are lots of potential book ideas here, deep dive studies. You know, when we get This Is Pro Wrestling back up and running in full steam, that's the kind of thing I like to do, man, is juxtapose a match against another and see how they compare and contrast styles, stories, legends. Because, you know, what do you think about it? Pro wrestling is human interest. It is our story. It's the story of humanity. And there's nothing new under the sun. The same trials, the same ambitions that have characterized humankind for the last 10,000 years are the same today. So, when you look back in the looking glass 10, 20, 30 years ago and look at the stakes that were on the line and realize, man, they're the same as they were today. Human nature has not changed. It's really, to me, very, very surreal, very fun to see. And it's just the kind of thing that gets me pumped up, and I'm pumped up right now.
Yeah, I am excited. I've got goosebumps just thinking about it. And guys, we're going to get into this Hard Times 2 card. I see out there in the chat, I just want to give shout outs to Front Row, Bodie, Terry McDermott, Certified Hustler. We got Ultimate Pusher, Tyreek is in the house. Doty's out there. Baldus Baby, good to see you. Everybody just out there, thank you so much for being here. And anybody I missed, we're grateful to have you here in the chat. And if you're watching at home and not in the chat, thank you for doing that too. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the NWA channel if you're not already. Guys, this is Hard Times 2 is a stacked card, as stacked as it gets. So you definitely want to make sure you're not missing this one. Only available on Fight TV. And at an excellent price. You're not going to get more wrestling and as great a wrestling all packed into one action-packed night as you are on this card. This is going to be this is fantastic. Chad Reese,
and it will occur incidentally. I was just going to say, Gary, it will incidentally, for if you're keeping count like I tend to do, this Hard Times 2, this Mike Knox Trevor Murdoch match will occur on the 98th day of the reign of Trevor Murdoch, assuming he makes it.
That's an excellent point, Doc, because this weekend, or not this weekend, tomorrow night, Trevor Murdoch is headed to St. Louis, Missouri. I mean, he lives right around there anyway, but he's headed into the city. He's got a big match with Attila Khan at SICW Wrestling, and that's going to be a big matchup. If you haven't seen Attila Khan, he is a monster, and Trevor Murdoch's in for a fight. I can guarantee you that. Sorry, I wanted to bring up our stuff there for Bush and everybody, since I'm having myself a nice cold Bush Light. So thank you to Bush for sponsoring the post show and the National Wrestling Alliance. Bush, that's what your guy does.
I know that Evan Williams is not a sponsor, but evidently I'm a sponsor of them because I buy the doggone barrel loads. Anyway.
Yeah. And Roy Caps, thanks for bringing that up too. We do want to give a shout out tonight to our other co-hosts that you normally see. Obviously, if you were here last week, you know that unfortunately Wil Martin, his father, passed away. So he is dealing with that. I think tonight is the visitation there for his family, so he's there with them, and we hope to have Wil back next week. We spoke to him briefly today, and so he's doing well, and I mean, as well as could be expected given the circumstances, and so we hope to see him again. He's still hoping to make it down to Atlanta this weekend for the big weekend of NWA action that's going on. So we send our love, all of us here at the NWA fam, send our love to Wil Martin. And anyway, all right, well, let's talk about this weekend. Of course, we've got a brand new show starting. That's taping on Friday. We've got Hard Times 2 on Saturday. And we have 2 full days of tapings for NWA Power. Well, if you're not aware, here's a little thing.
Wrestling fans, tickets are now on sale for the NWA's highly anticipated return home to GBB Studios in Atlanta, Georgia. Friday, December 3rd, join us for a brand new weekly wrestling show from the National Wrestling Alliance. Saturday, December 4th, we are live on pay-per-view with NWA Hard Times 2. And on Sunday, December 5th and Monday, December 6th, we're diving back into the fire with 2 packed days of NWA Power. Scheduled to appear are NWA Worlds Heavyweight Champion Trevor Murdoch, Nick Aldis, NWA Worlds Women's Champion Camille, Strictly Business, NWA Worlds Women's Tag Team Champions The Hex, The Pope, and many more. For tickets, visit NWATix.com now. That's NWATix.com.
You have a new show. You have a new champion. But you need a new direction. I can fix that.
And interruption there at the end, but that was from Darius Lockhart, one of the hot new stars coming into the National Wrestling Alliance. If you guys haven't heard of Darius Lockhart, go look him up. He's on Twitter. He's on Instagram. He's everywhere that you can find wrestlers these days. But definitely one of the got some huge buzz. Darius Lockhart does. So he put out a video a while back and shouted out the fact that he wanted a shot at the championship and caught the eye of William Patrick Corgan, it seems like, and Pat Kenny. And Darius Lockhart is coming to the National Wrestling Alliance. And it sounds like he's headed right to that brand new show from the National Wrestling Alliance.
Yeah, I remember seeing that when it came out, and it made quite a buzz. In fact, there were multiple people back there talking about that I Can Fix That promo that he did and that he produced, really top quality. And this guy is very intriguing. That right there had me intrigued. I didn't know what was coming when you started playing that. I hadn't seen that yet, Gary.
Well, yeah, that's cool to see that caught you off guard. But yeah, the guy. Well, here's the thing. He harkens back. I think it's okay to mention folks like that have gone on from the National Wrestling Alliance. But my first thought is immediately like a guy like Ricky Starks, like that's out there hustling, making their videos, got their skills intact, ready to get out there, and they're making their own path. They're making their way out there, and so very excited to see Darius Lockhart. And I know a lot of people in the online world are excited about it as well.
And I don't want to sound presumptuous or anything like that. It's not like you and I are in-ring workers or anything of that nature, but I think that there's a lot to be learned from Ricky Starks and a Darius Lockhart, especially in the 21st century wrestling ring when creating a digital footprint for yourself is so important. Self-promotion is so imperative because right now, everybody has access to everything essentially. And if you want to be that person to make a name for yourself and distinguish yourself, you almost can't do it without having a social media impression. And that's something that immediately impressed a lot of people about Ricky Starks. And Darius Lockhart has that same kind of gravitas and vibe, and he's killing it, at least on social media. I'm just curious what his ring entrance music is. I want to say Wagon Wheel or
Wagon Wheel.
I just think of Darius Rucker. I don't know. I mean,
okay.
So juvenile.
All right. Well, sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Because of the Darius.
Sponsored by Evan Williams. So anyway, let's run down this Hard Times 2 card, and everybody out there in the chat, especially since we can see what you're thinking. We want to know what your favorite matches are or what you're looking forward to most. This show is all about hanging out with you guys, the NWA fam, and just talking about this lineup and just telling us what you think's going to happen. We're going to be super interactive tonight, so we want to hang out with you guys. A lot of people already digging Darius Lockhart's promo there. There may be one more coming up, so just stay tuned. Darius is out there working, man. He's doing a good job. But first thing I want to mention from Hard Times 2 that's going to be happening is, how about this? Well, it didn't work. Hold on.
It's like Gary versus Doc.
Guys, I miss Wil so much. Where is Wil? Anyway, all right. So Hard Times 2.
So we're not doing that, huh? We're on to the next segment.
Oh my gosh.
All right, our sponsor logos are back up. There you go.
I didn't break everything. This is a professional environment here, and yeah. So we do what we can to. I'm panicking.
You're lighting, man. All I see is that Sputnik tree in the back of you, man. Because
I disappeared.
You got your LED light on like shift mode or something, man. It's like Scion tapped into your lighting or something.
No, what it is like the like it's the screen from my computer is what's lighting me up right now. Apparently, I forgot to turn on my other light over here. So anyway,
I just keep thinking that light's going to go down and we're going to see Scion like, you may not know who I am or why I'm here, but I'm definitely here for two things. One, for a championship in the NWA, and two, to get Gary some better lighting.
It's a good idea, but we fixed the password, and so Scion doesn't just randomly show up on the show anymore. So.
This is the week. This is the week that I've been waiting for. The anger right now that I've been feeling for the last month is gone. And I feel a calm come over me. Win or lose, I will not tell myself that I wasn't ready. Win or lose, I will not be disappointed in the outcome. The time for talk is over. All the preparing that I've done is for this moment. And you will be a witness to it. You who've been here since the beginning will truly see someone go to war, fight, bleed, prepared not to walk out on his own accord. Since you've met me, my identity has been shrouded in mystery. But the goal has always been vocal. If you don't feel something at the end of this week, if you don't feel alive, then I haven't done my job. I will see every one of you on Fight TV.
All right, so I thought I had fixed the password situation, but apparently not.
I thought we got us a VPN or something. One of those SPOs that Will's always talking about.
Yeah. It that unfortunately did not happen. So well, I guess since he was there, we might as well start this thing by talking about what a lot of people feel like is going to steal the show at Hard Times 2. Tyrus, the TV champion, alongside Austin Idol, is going to be defending his title. This will be his third defense, and it's going to be against the masked man Scion, who cashed in his championship opportunity from the champion series that he could have used on any title in the National Wrestling Alliance. He chose Tyrus and the TV title, and that match is happening this Saturday night, December 4th. And to top everything off, this match is no DQ, special referee, the Pope, and that's huge, Doc. That's a big matchup. People are looking forward to this one.
Man, this whole match, to use a phrase from another show that I really enjoy, this whole match is bug nuts crazy. Like the implications here. When I think of Scion cashing in that championship opportunity for this belt, I think of like if you find the genie in the bottle and you get 3 wishes and you keep wishing for 3 more wishes. That's essentially what he did, right? Because yeah, he could have taken the easy route and cashed it in for a Worlds Heavyweight Championship title match. But what he's done is he's cashed it in for a NWA Television Championship title match. He's believing he's going to win this match now. He's thinking he's going to win that. And therefore, if he wins that, guess what that puts him in line for? 3 more wishes, right? He gets to defend this when he enacts that Lucky 7 rule. If he chooses to, he gets a NWA Worlds Heavyweight Championship title match. He gets 2 for 1, basically. He's playing the long game, and I didn't really think about it like that until we had Tyrus on this show last week. And I've said what I've said about Scion in the past. Do I like the guy? No, I don't like him. I can't stand him. I think that he's part of a vast conspiracy run by the president of this company, William Patrick Corgan. Nevertheless, Tyrus Tyrus respects him for some. He sees something in his eyes. He sees something about the resolution in this man. And then when I think about what Tyrus said last week, and then I think about, him choosing to cash his championship match in on this particular title at this particular time, it makes me think that we're dealing with somebody who can be a very potent force in the World's Heavyweight Championship title picture for a long, long time.
I think that you're 100% right. And I got to throw it out there to you guys in the chat. Who do you think wins out of Scion and Tyrus? I want to see your votes. And, certified mentioning everybody should follow Scion on Twitter. I totally agree. If you are on Twitter, I know some people are for it or against it. He's on Instagram as well. And in both places, it's at NWA_mystery man. So check that out. That is Scion's handle. And that's going to be a big match, Tyrus and Scion. And while you get your votes in on who you think is going to win this matchup, we heard from Scion, so we might as well take a second to go back to some words from Tyrus and Austin Idol that we had a little while back when they bullied us around, Doc.
Mr. Tyrus, well, what are you going to do in December 4th on Hard Times 2 when you wrestled the Mystery Man?
Well, since it's December, which is can we say holiday season?
Yeah,
well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take these big hands,
right,
and I'm going to go chop down some trees. You know how I like to punch trees.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to pick the biggest redwood I can find.
Good.
Bring it down to that 4-story house of mine.
Love it.
Put it in there, and whatever little animals and squirrels and stuff.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we're going to shoot them. Turn the squirrels into Christmas ornaments.
Yeah.
Go shopping, maybe kidnap Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Put them elves to work in the front yard. Do the things we like to do.
Absolutely.
See the things we want to do.
Put them to work.
Maybe kick some orphans. I don't know. Have some fun.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a season.
Then after we get done with our Yuletide jeer,
right,
then we'll head on down. Where are we going?
Atlanta.
It don't matter. All we know is December 4th.
Hard Times 2.
You know how they have the Secret Santa?
Yeah.
We're going to have the secret reveal.
Secret reveal.
Big surprise. Because we're going to show the world who that punk is under that hood. Yeah. That coward.
We're going to take the hood off him.
Oh, we're going to take the hood off him.
That's what I'm saying.
And guess what that's going to be? Those little stars on his little mask. Yeah, it's going to go to the top of my big redwood tree.
Right. So they call him the Mystery Man, and he's going to be the History Man.
What did you just say?
I said they call him the Mystery
Man, but now he's going to be the History Man.
Yeah, baby. Huh?
Yeah. And then what's left of them, we'll just stuff that turkey.
Yeah, jingle bells, baby. All the way.
Right, that's right.
Yeah.
All the fields we go, demasking all the way.
I love that. Yeah. Well, yeah.
You see little G's climbing that tree, putting that mask on there.
Oh, baby, Merry Christmas.
And old George's like, a little closer. Oh.
Yeah, Mele Kalikimaka for all our friends in Hawaii.
What'd you say?
Mele Kalikimaka. Mele Kalikimaka.
Is there medicine for that?
I hope not. I ain't looking for no fix.
Hey, what happened to that guy who was interviewing us?
Well, I think he had a meltdown.
Man, come on over here, man. Come on over here. Oh, he wants to know what message we were sending to Trevor because he loves Trevor.
All right,
it's real simple.
That's
real simple.
That's legit.
Okay. He got 5 more title defenses, and then that title he's holding goes over my fireplace. Merry Christmas.
10 pounds of gold. Guaranteed. Here you go.
Thank you, guys.
All right. So,
there you a punk, Gary. You a little punk.
I didn't see you standing up there. What are you talking about?
I was holding the. Who do you think was holding the camera, Gary? I was right there. They had nothing but good things to say to me.
Oh, whatever. But
anyway,
Tyrus was on here last week, and he was.
He's much more introspective now. The tone has changed. We're not going to get a reveal, evidently, if that's what I remember. Although I do like the idea of them chopping down the tree and kicking all the little squirrels out, making them ornaments, and Black G's walking up there and, putting the mask on there on the tree topper. I think that's adorable.
I do like that.
Jordan Clearwater saying, hey, move that over just about 137%.
Oh, Mary Kaliki Maka, indeed, from Tyrus and Austin Idol. So Well, so you can hear from that perspective, though, that the same thing you're talking about Scion doing, Tyrus is already on that path. He's already ready to go. And if you were here last week, you heard him talk about it. He talked about that very thing of the path to the world title. But for him, he feels as though he's making the TV title as important as the world title. So he even talked about, I might do title for title. Like we might do both, but he's not even, he's like, I'll carry this thing for 21 defenses. I don't care. So Tyrus is dead set that Saturday is not the end of his TV title reign.
I got to say, and I know we've got a lot of matches to get to, but I got to say that they're both Tyrus and Scion, and I can't even believe I'm saying this, but these two men are highly complex, very intentional individuals. Both of them. They are thinking this out. I don't think at this point either one of them are taking the other lightly. I mean, we just heard Scion say it. Win or lose, he's not going to hold his head down in shame. Win or lose, he's not going to be disappointed. So he's holding out the prospect of the fact that he may not win. And then, we heard Tyrus give a huge dose of respect to Scion last week. So we got two complex guys who are taking this particular match very seriously, as they both should, I think, now, in light of all that we've heard and seen. And, man, you might not be wrong, Gary. This may be the match that steals the show. You don't know.
Yeah, it's true. I think this match has got as much steam behind it as the other matches on the show. This is as any other match on the show. These two guys have been feuding. If you've been keeping up with NWA Power this season, these two have been going at it with each other since about NWA 73, when Scion, what Tyrus would say, stole the pinfall victory in their big tag match on NWA 73. And ever since then, they've been back and forth with each other, and it's been rough. So these two have been headed for a collision course, and it's time to finally see this pay off at Hard Times 2. This is going to be huge. Looking at the chat right now, Roy Cap saying Tyrus versus Scion going to be cold as ice. And let's see here. What else do people think? Chad's a big fan of Scion. Bodie says Scion's ready for a fight. That's true. That's one thing you can't take away from him. And let's see here. Doty, Scion will kick Tyrus's ass. So another one for Scion. And Jedi Warrior saying he thinks Tyrus is going to pull the win out. And Front Row saying Tyrus has wanted this since childhood. Front Row, of course, was here last week in that interview with Tyrus, and he said, and as WPC mentioned on Busted Open today, or as I guess WPC was also talking about that on Busted Open today, and for Front Row, Tyrus is the pick to win. Terry McDermott saying Idol sounds drunk. Well, Idol was just he was having fun. He was Yuletide jeer. That's what it'll do to you. And Roy at Cap says Scion for the win, but I'm a Tyrus fan. It'll be a great match. And Certified Hustler picking Scion. Let's see here. I'm looking through this. Yeah, I mean, this is back and forth. This is good. This is exactly what you want out of a hot headline match is Scion and Tyrus for the TV title. This is exactly the kind of heat we want behind that TV title, and that's what we got here. Scion versus Tyrus is as big a match as you can get on a pay-per-view, but that's just the first match we've talked about so far on this thing. One thing I did want to cover, though, is if you're interested in excellent wrestling, you're interested in legendary wrestlers, you're interested in women's wrestling particular, the icon, Jazz, the legendary female competitor, former NWA Women's World Champion. She is getting a special tribute at Hard Times 2 as she has announced her retirement from in-ring competition. We love Jazz around these parts. So this is an exciting moment here to see the former champ, who, by the way, never lost the belt. She just, in her retirement, gave that up. So very interesting there, Doc, to see Jazz celebrated.
It must be surreal for her. We've used that word a lot tonight to see women wrestling for the highest prize in the world, and it's a prize that she never lost. But yes, you're right. Jazz is a legend, a living legend, and she's going out on her terms. This is a woman who could compete for years and years from now and still be at the top of the class. But she's going out, and she deserves a hero's farewell. And although I don't think that she's going to be gone from the industry, I think that you'll see her around in advisory capacities and that kind of thing, mentoring and coaching the up and comers and the current talent and the talent of the future. As an in-ring competitor, she's hanging it up. She's hanging it up the way she wants to, and it's going to be neat to see her being sent off in an NWA ring, which is very, very appropriate.
Yeah, I think so too. And, Jazz is just one of those people you'll never hear anybody say a negative thing about. So it's cool to see her honored here. And she's already, she's been with the NWA all this time, if you guys weren't aware, in a producer role. So she's certainly helping out the talent of the future, as well as being one of the legends of the past. So just great to see Jazz recognized. We are big fans of that here. Another thing we could talk about here. How about this? This is big news that with all of the other news, I don't want this to ever get overlooked. There's a couple of things happening here. A few things. One, Austin Aries versus Rhett Titus is happening at Hard Times 2. Now, this is another situation with a teacher versus student. Austin Aries trained Rhett Titus. Now, you might be asking yourself, I don't recall seeing Austin Aries or Rhett Titus on NWA Power before. Well, that's because they haven't been. Austin Aries has been doing his own thing. Rhett Titus has been over there in Ring of Honor, part of the, what was his group? The Foundation, I believe. And now Austin Aries and Rhett Titus are showing up in the National Wrestling Alliance. That's one set of big news, both these guys being there. The bigger set of news, perhaps, is that they're both competing in a qualifying match to enter a tournament for the NWA Junior Heavyweight Championship. Now, what? You didn't know about the NWA Junior Heavyweight Championship? That's because it hasn't been around for a little while, and it's back. It's coming back. There's going to be a tournament. These two guys want it. They want to be known as the first champion of the modern era of the National Wrestling Alliance, the Lightning One era, I guess I should say. And so Austin Aries versus Rhett Titus to get into this tournament. Doc, that's just as if everything else is not big enough news, this is even more big news.
It's crazy, man. I think everybody in our chat, everybody watching this, everybody in the world knows who Austin Aries is. Rhett Titus, very enigmatic guy, intriguing, big talent. But the big news there, of course, is the announcement of the return of the NWA World Junior Heavyweight Championship. For those of you who don't know, and many of you probably already do know, when the NWA was founded in 1948, in the original founding principles of 9, they specified only 2 championships, not a TV title, not a national title, not a U.S. title, not a tag team championship. They specified 2 championships in the original founding articles of the National Wrestling Alliance, and that was the World Heavyweight title. It had not yet become the World's Heavyweight title. There was just one world back then, the World Heavyweight title and the World Junior Heavyweight Championship. This is a title that is rooted in the history of the sport. In its earliest days, it is associated with some of the greatest names of all time, from Danny Hodge to Nelson Royal to Denny Brown, to the list goes on and on and on. And Rhett Titus and Austin Aries and Rhett Titus and a number of other individuals want to be the first to be able to put their name adjacent to that championship in the Lightning One era. I think this is a huge development, one of the biggest developments in the NWA since the reemergence of the national title and the TV title, probably even bigger than that.
Absolutely.
This is, after all, a world's championship.
Absolutely. This is a big one. This is one of the ones that if you looked around online during ever since the purchase of the National Wrestling Alliance by William Patrick Corgan, this is one of the titles that the fans have clamored for repeatedly for years now. And finally, he's given in, and here it is. It is the NWA Worlds Junior Heavyweight Championship, and lots of love in the chat already for it. I see people talking about it. I see votes for Rhett. I see votes for Austin Aries. So this one's back and forth. Jedi's got Aries 3 times. Terry McDermott.
Well, you got names out there that obviously are going to fit into that picture and are going to contend immediately for it. I think about guys like Colby Carino. I think of guys like PJ Hawks. I think of guys like one of my favorite guys, Alex Taylor. who we've seen, recently in Oak Grove, Kentucky. We got to see him before the pay-per-view went on and all that. And I mean, to me, this opens up all kinds of possibilities for guys who definitely are marquee opponents or definitely world-class competitors. But I mean, let's be realistic here. You're not going to put a Colby Carino against a Nick Aldis. A Colby Carino and a Trevor Murdoch just is not going to work. So what does Colby Carino have to aspire to if it's not the World's Championship? Well, guess what? He can aspire to the World's Championship because now we reintroduce the weight class. And I think that, again, this opens up all kinds of possibilities, and this division is something that the NWA has needed for a long, long time. I think it's a very positive development. I'm super excited about it.
Front row wants to see already like Sal Renaro hold that title, and
there you go.
That's another guy, definitely. Tyreek backing that up. Don't count out Sal. So Sal's getting a lot of love. And speaking of all those names you just mentioned and everything, let's throw this up there. One of the matches at this show. This may be a pre-show match. I feel like I might have heard that, but this is for this is a gauntlet for a qualifier to be in the NWA Junior Heavyweight Championship tournament, I believe, in the final position. This automatically moves you into the finals, if I'm not mistaken, from Billy Corgan's original announcement. And look at these names. I mean, these are some huge names. Jeremiah Plunkett in there. Victor Benjamin, if you're online, you know he's one of the sweethearts of the online world. This guy's big time. He's partnered up with Lady Frost all the time. Those two are a couple. And Victor's been one of those guys that's also been demanded by the NWA fam. PJ and Luke Hawks, who you mentioned, Doc. Arya Davari. Darius Lockhart there. Homicide is coming back for this. That's how big of a deal this is. Homicide's entering his name into the mix. C.W. Anderson back out of retirement, coming after this thing. He wants that junior heavyweight title. And there's our man, Sal Renaro, that we're talking about. He's there. Kerry Morton, son of the great Ricky Morton, is entering this matchup. That dude, Jamie Stanley. You know, we're fans of Jamie Stanley and all of his NWA Power reviews online. You got those. And Doc, I know you're a huge fan of Alex Taylor. He is entering this gauntlet match. That is going to be a heck of a matchup right there. That's enough to sell a pay-per-view on its own, as this gauntlet match between these guys to get into that NWA Junior Heavyweight Championship tournament.
This is the scope of the talent in the NWA. If you can keep that graphic up just for one more second, I'm counting a dozen people there, not counting Austin Aries, not counting Rhett Titus. This is the depth of the roster of the NWA. This is the people that want to achieve stardom, championship glory in the National Wrestling Alliance. And this speaks to the health of this company. And this is where you want to be. Because I'm going to tell you right now, any one of these dozen guys right here, any one of them, I'm seeing C.W. Anderson's name up there. He's an NWA Power OG. He's been around in the NWA for a while. Any one of these dozen guys would make a credible world junior heavyweight champion. I'm curious about this, Gary. What happens if in this gauntlet, if the last two men standing are Luke and PJ?
Oh, that's going to be huge. That's going to be a big deal. It's those two. Well, I think that those two have enough respect for each other. They're gonna throw down if it comes to that. I don't doubt that any one of them would. And this gauntlet just spans from years back to the future of pro wrestling. Again, this is what the NWA does. They have this like legendary side of them and a future forward-looking side of them. So very, very cool to see it. And of course, I see you in there, folks. Definitely, Damian, I see you. Your prediction. He's predicting the man, the one coming in with the most heat right now. And of course, I'm talking about Darius Lockhart. A guy, he's got the stuff. He's got the tools, all of them. He's ready, man. Darius Lockhart is ready. So this is going to be a big deal seeing him in this matchup, I think. I expect that reaction he gets when he comes out to be pretty
cool, man.
well.
He definitely got the tools. He's also got the software suite to pull off a mean little video, man. That's tight.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, he puts it all to use, man. That's a.
All right, tell you, man. if he doesn't win that championship, he might be the new the new post show with his technical.
Yeah, you're right.
You might not want to play that anymore.
Oh,
Thanks. Do not let that fall into William Patrick Corgan's hands.
Oh man. All right, let's switch gears for a second and find out about a match I didn't know about right off the bat. And I found out about this week about two guys that aren't going to be in any sort of NWA junior heavyweight division anytime soon. And that is these two gentlemen. Mims, who is being seconded by Crimson in this match, is going head to head with Godzilla himself, Jax Dane. We went from some high-flying acrobatics to a couple big meaty boys going head-to-head. They're going to be like two dump trucks running into each other. This is going to be a big one. This is gonna shake GPB when these two muscle-bound giant superstars collide in the middle of that ring. Doc, what do you think happens when these two meet?
Like you said, it's going to be pandemonium. This is going to be just a gargantuan matchup of two really big dudes. Jax Dane, of course, still, with a bit of a chip on his shoulder regarding Crimson. I'm not sure what Crimson's role is in this. The cage match was supposed to be the match to end that disagreement between the two, and Jax Dane came out on top. So Crimson, I think, needs to go his own way. But
he's innocent and hanging out next to Mims. I mean,
maybe so. Anytime I see Crimson around and Jax Dane's on the other side, I see the hand of a conspiracy. I see Corgan conspiracy in the works here.
Front row predicting the ultimate pusher Tyreek's going to come in and even the odds, though.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Could be. But I see the ultimate pusher Tyreek back there slapping backs and doing shots with William Patrick Corgan too. So I'm not sure if we can trust him either.
Well, big words. All right. Let's see. I see a lot of predictions here. Tyreek is saying that Jax Dane's going to have something up his sleeve. So yeah, I see where Front Row's getting that from. And Certified says Jack's going to destroy him. Damian saying Dane's going to win this one. Oh man, it's tough. It's Roy Cap saying this is going to move the ring a foot or more. And you're not lying there, man. These are two bulls headed head to head. This is going to be big, but a lot of people believe in the veteran Jax Dane, former Worlds Heavyweight Champion, former United States Heavyweight Champion, former National Heavyweight Champion. See, Jax, if you're watching, I got all of that right.
Former Olympic gold medalist, former World Cup power forward. He was on the Dream Team, U.S. Dream Team. Basketball. Jax Dane's got it all, man. He's also performed on Broadway. So the list of accolades goes on and on and on.
Yeah, Jax Dane's done everything. So get ready. Here's another big one. We talk about the legendary wrestlers that come through the National Wrestling Alliance and also that future-focused attitude. Two guys that I'm looking forward to seeing tussle. I think another one, you want to talk about another match that stands a chance to steal in the show? How about Doug Williams makes his return to U.S. soil, first time in 8 years. Doug Williams is back, and he's taking on Colby Corino, specially selected opponent for Doug Williams. Doug's beaten Steve Corino in the past, and he wants a piece of his son here. Probably, I mean, I don't want to put words in Doug Williams' mouth. God help me. I would never even attempt to, but it seems like he's picked Colby for a reason. Perhaps seeing him as one of the bright stars in the National Wrestling Alliance, and wants to prove his mettle right off the bat by taking him down a peg. Doc, what are you thinking about Doug versus Colby here?
This is an intriguing matchup for me because you guys all know, you've listened to me, I'm very, very high on Colby Corino. But if you followed this show since we started coming and doing the NWA post show, and even before that, if you followed us on at TIPW show on Tuesday nights and on Sunday nights, you know that I am a huge, huge admirer of Doug Williams. And I've been clamoring for Doug to return to the United States for years and years, for a couple of years now. And this is I don't want to be over the top and say it's a dream come true, but it's pretty close to it. I think Doug Williams is coming in very fertile soil with opportunities right for the picking. I don't think that he's overlooking Colby Carino. I think he has hand-selected him because he wants to see where he stands right now. It's been a minute since he's faced American talent. And, I think this is, if you want to find out where you stack up or where you need to go from here, you want to take on an opponent of the quality of a Colby Carino. And like you said, he does have the past with the Carino family. But I'm very intrigued by this match. So far, this is one that's really piqued my interest, maybe more than any other match on this card.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one for sure. Front row in the chat saying all respect to Colby, but Doug Williams is a tough dude. Let's see here. Who else? Front row also said, by the way, that Jack Stade was George Washington and Hamilton. So just FYI, throwing that in there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Tyreek making a good point. This is a former partner of Nick Aldis's. I also see predictions that he's joining Strictly Business. So interesting. Everybody already predicting Doug Williams' future, and he hasn't even showed up yet. I'm not even sure he's in the United States yet. So that's going to be very interesting. Let's talk about legends real quick again, because in case you missed the news, the hardcore legend, Mick Foley, is in attendance. I believe he's going to be the Santa of the evening. So Mr. Sacco, I'm sure, in tow, as Mick Foley shows up at Hard Times 2. If you've never met Mick Foley, this is the ultimate time to do that, because there's no more of a intimate environment than that GPB studio. So you don't get many opportunities to get to hang out with a guy like Mick Foley right up close and personal there in the ring. This is going to be a big one, Doc.
Yeah, I've met Mick Foley. Of course, he won't remember this, but he did some time back, he did a stand-up comedy tour. You remember that, Gary?
I went to it here. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. We did the one here in Chattanooga, and I think it was Chattanooga. It might have been Atlanta. It's been some time, but I'm gonna tell you, Mick Foley is such a surprise. He's not surprisingly personable. We've seen him be personable in the ring and behind the mic, and he really is. First of all, very personable. Secondly, very intelligent, extremely intelligent, and if you want to get a chance to chit chat with him and pick his brain, you're not going to find a better setting than in the GPB studio. So I'm looking forward to that. I don't typically, I'm not one that's one that's like itching to get and get some one-on-one time with somebody, but I definitely want to spend some time with Mick Foley if I get an opportunity to. And I know everybody that's going to be able to, that's going to be coming is going to want to spend some time with him and just get inside of that brilliant mind of his. Mick Foley, this is a great opportunity.
He's one of those guys that you see the other talent, the other wrestlers on the card talking about, like, I'm going to have to bring my books in. Like, I got to
bring my Funko Pop in. I got to bring my Funko.
Yeah, there you go. So lots of people excited about that. James Lawrence, you asked a question in the chat earlier, and it was a great question. How many titles are being defended on Hard Times 2? It's a great question. We've only talked about one. We talked about that TV title matchup, but it turns out, as of now, 8 titles are being defended on Hard Times 2, and we're not talking about just 8 NWA titles. There's not even 8 yet, despite how many there are. There's plenty, but there are gonna be, this is multi-promotional, multi-company, like, it's just, this is everybody showing up. We've got representatives from everywhere showing up on this show. We've already talked about Rhett Titus coming in. He was been on ROH. You want to talk about another couple of guys that's been spending time a lot on ROH, and that's the OGK. They're the current Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions, and they're walking into Hard Times 2 with the National Wrestling Alliance and defending against the former NWA Tag Team Champions, Aaron Stevens and Kratos. This is going to be a big match. Former NWA Champions versus the current ROH Champions. I got to know what you guys think about this one. Doc, what are you feeling?
Man, this is, again, I mean, this card is stacked, Gary. This card is crazy. I said it earlier, it is bug nuts how crazy this card is. At the end of the day, I think that the most prestigious tag team championship in the world is the NWA Championship. The OGK may get there one day, but they've not been there yet. Kratos and Stevens have, and we've seen them compete at the highest levels. We've seen Stevens waver back and forth, but here of late, we've seen him become more resolute, and maybe more so, we've seen Kratos become more intentional and deliberate about what his focus is on and about his commitment to this tag team. And I think if Kratos and Steven show up on the same page, I don't know if anybody could beat them. I don't know if La Rebellion could beat them when they're on the same page, Gary.
It's interesting you say that. Yeah, it's a big deal. Stevens and Kratos held on to those titles for quite a bit, and it wasn't by accident. When they're on the same page, they are unstoppable. We've seen Kratos give Stevens that exact same speech. So it's going to be interesting to see how these guys fare against a team that's firing on all cylinders like OGK, Matt Taven, and Mike Bennett. So we go from the Ring of Honor tag team titles, Doc, and we bounce right over, and you want to talk about just spanning the world of wrestling. You've got this match just announced the other day. Mickie James is coming in, and she is the current Impact Knockouts champion, and she's agreed to step into the ring with someone we've seen her interact with previously, but she is giving Kera Hogan, AEW's Kera Hogan, a title match for the Impact Knockouts Championship. This is a big deal. Mickie James, from wherever she wants to be. I was going to put her in a promotion, but you can't. You can't box in Mickie James. And she's up against Kera Hogan, who just recently signed with AEW. Of course, she's been on NWA, but she's coming back. So she's on loan. She's able to come in and compete for this prestigious Impact Knockouts Championship belt. I mean, this is going to be a huge match. Here we again see other companies represented. We're putting the alliance back in the National Wrestling Alliance, Doc.
Yeah, I like how what you just said about Mickie, about not boxing her in, because she really is a microcosm of what the NWA is. She's a meta wrestler. She's a cross-promotional entity, just like the NWA is. It's cross-promotional. It's the meta promotion. It's the one ring to rule them all, like they said in Henry Potter. The Legend of the Two Towers, or whatever that was, or something like that.
Yeah, Henry Potter, Legend of the Two Towers. That's it.
Yes. So I like this match. We remember seeing Kera Hogan. We know it is well documented that Mickie James is the absolute idol of Kera Hogan. We saw that emotional response after their match there in the Chase Ballroom, the Coruscant Ballroom, that you captured on camera there, Gary, behind the microphone. Actually, I was on camera. You were on the microphone, but given that context, and now seeing more layers to this relationship, there's some respect there that Mickie has for Kera, absolute admiration and adoration that Kera has for Mickie, and now with the Impact Knockouts Championship on the line in an NWA ring, this is the absolute definition of what the NWA stands for.
James H. Jackson predicted Kera is about to take that Impact title back to AEW with her. And so a lot of people predicting Mickie as well. And according to Front Row on Busted Open, William Patrick Corgan mentioned this is Kera's first world title match. So very, very interesting to see this one. So again, cross-promotional stuff here. No forbidden door for the National Wrestling Alliance on this one. Now let's talk about a match I know we're both excited about, and our boy Will's going to be excited about. This is going to be a big one. We've got, courtesy of the tag team tournament, we have new #1 contenders for the NWA tag team titles. We're going to see La Rebellion, Mecha Wolf, and Basia 666 defend against Odinson and Pero. The end. Now, you want to talk about this is a big, bad kaiju battle right here. I don't know. I don't even know what to think about this one, Doc.
Man, this is it. This is the ultimate showdown between two ultimate tag teams. I don't want to speak out of line here or say anything inappropriate, and I certainly don't want to demean legendary tag teams like the Road Warriors or Demolition, as it were. But if you could ever be at a time or a place to see Demolition and the Road Warriors go head to head, and I'm talking about Demolition at their best and the Road Warriors at their best, this is the best comparison I can think of. Two monstrous tag teams, two teams that are legit teams. They're brothers. They're invested in themselves as tag teams, and they are brutal. They are monsters. They are fearless. They're scary. They're terrifying. they know no bounds or limits to which they will not go to achieve the highest accolades in the world. And in this case, it happens to be those NWA World Tag Team titles. So again, I mean, I said it 3 or 4 times earlier tonight. This may be the match of the night. You got a bunch of matches that may be the match of the night, and this one may be it also. I'm excited about this. I know Wil, if you're listening, Wil is probably chomping at the bit to get in here. He's a tag team guy. He's been calling for this match for months and months and months, and now it's finally going to happen. You know, this match alone is worth the ticket. So if you want to see this live and in color, man, gosh, get your ticket now. If you can't be there in person, buy your subscription on Fight TV or buy the pay-per-view. This is going to be epic. It's going to be monumental. It's going to be colossal. I cannot wait to see this.
Yeah, Debody in the chat saying La Rebellion all the way. Damien saying La Rebellion. I don't care if Pero is death and Odinson is the future. Let's see. Certified. Let's call it for the end. Roy and Caps just only going with this is going to be a barn burner. And so this is a big deal. I'm going to say we did get a message from La Rebellion earlier. So I can show you that now.
Este próximo 4 de diciembre, la Rebelión se enfrenta a The End por los campeonatos mundiales de NWA de pareja. ¿Y qué creen? Quiero que sean testigos cómo vamos a seguir siendo campeones porque simplemente somos los mejores.
You want to know about hard times? I'm going to tell you about hard times. Hard times are when a boy leaves his country with $20 in his pocket following a dream. So that dream could finally take him to a different country like Mexico. And in that country, that boy could meet the best tag team partner in the world, in Bestia 666. And then together, those two boys get a hold of these, the greatest tag team championship in the history of professional wrestling, the NWA World Tag Team titles. The End. You have fought hard and well, and we respect that. We respect the fact that you have come from the bottom in the NWA and you have fought your way to the top so you could get the opportunity to face us for these belts. But guess what, The End? We have worked just as hard, if not harder, than you guys so we can have these belts. And we know that we have a huge target on our back. We know that the OGK wants these belts. We know that all the teams and every single company want these titles. But guess what? Day after day, night after night, we prove why we are the greatest tag team of all time. Lo hemos hecho en Puerto Rico, lo hemos hecho en México, y lo hemos hecho en Estados Unidos. And this Saturday at Hard Times 2, it will not be any different. The End. Get ready for the fight of your life, because if you fight us, we will wrestle you, and if you wrestle us, we will fight you, because we are the greatest tag team of all time. We are La Rebelión, and we are amados, odiados, pero nunca igualados. See you guys at Hard Times 2. History takes over all. Fight for the ones that are lost. Fight for the ones that are gone. Fight for the ones that can't. We fight for the ones that gave up.
Well, I did not expect they were going that hard on this video package they sent us, but thanks to the guys at La Rebellion, Mecha Wolf and Vasia 666. If you're watching this and you've never seen those two guys in the ring, you got a real taste of it right there. Those two guys, devastating. I'm with you, Damian. Briscoes and La Rebellion would be amazing. But first, La Rebellion's got the end at Hard Times 2. I am pumped. I think we changed Front Row's mind with that video. I think he's back on the side of La Rebellion.
I'm telling you, man. If it's not those action sequences in the ring, it's definitely that Christian rock music they've got playing in the back. I think that might have been Petra, or Pierce the Veil, or one of those Christian rock bands. That was great.
No, I think it was DC Talk.
DC Talk, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was great, man. Gosh, they're intense.
Yeah, they are, and that's what we love about them. La Rebellion, our NWA World Tag Team Champions. Will that be the same after Saturday? We're going to find out. I am jacked about this match. Talking about tag team titles, though, we do have a women's tag team championship match as well. As you want to talk about two badasses with the tag team titles. The Hex, does it get any more tough than Marty Bell and Allison Kay? They're jumping into a matchup, a triple threat tag team title match. The Lady Frost, who is as on fire as anybody, no pun intended there with the names, but she is on fire as anybody, and she's teaming up with the debuting Natalia Markova, who we have not seen yet in the NWA ring. She's coming in with Lady Frost, and they're challenging. And then you've got Kylie Ray and Tootie Lynn, affectionately by Tootie Lynn referred to as the Smiley Dragons. So they're jumping in this match. They were supposed to team up originally at By Any Means Necessary. They're getting a second chance here to team up and go for those women's tag team titles. This is going to be a big one.
Man, yeah. We've been looking forward to seeing Kylie Ray and Tootie Lynn, the Smiling Dragons, for some time. Excited to see this. I'm very high on this tag team. I don't know what to expect from Natalia Markova, but anytime I see her team up with, Lady Frost team up with anybody, it sends chills up my spine. No pun intended there either, Gary. But both of those tag teams have the highest mountain in the world to climb there if they're going to expect to get past the Hex, Marty Bell and Allison Kay, who right now are as gelled as anybody, are as well functioning as any tag team in the world, and they hold the most prestigious tag team in the worlds of women's tag team wrestling. So, this is another very, very intriguing matchup. Looking forward to this one as well.
Absolutely. Couldn't say it better myself, Doc. We're going to move on and talk about another big matchup. Let's stick with title matches. Well, because we have to. I mean, all we got is a bunch of title matches on this show. This is as title heavy as any show I've ever seen. Another big one, the National Heavyweight Championship. Chris Adonis is defending that title against the Sinister Minister's very own Priest of Punishment, Jedias. This is a big match. Jedias winning that Battle Royal at NWA 73, finally cashing the chips in for his number one contendership and taking on Chris Adonis. This is a big deal because, as you know, not only does the National Heavyweight Championship maintain its prestige from over the years, it also is a direct path and number one contendership for the World's Heavyweight Championship. So Chris Adonis would obviously love to keep that in his back pocket, and Jedias very clearly wants to take it from him.
Yeah, say what you want about the winners of the Conspiracy Series. The formal number one contender to the World's Heavyweight Champion in the NWA is the national champion, which right now is Chris Adonis. So he could easily have, cashed us in or whatever at Hard Times 2. For some reason, he's biding his time and looking for an opportunity to do that. But in order to do so, he's got a very, very, very tough pill to swallow in the form of Judas. Judas, as you mentioned, Gary, won the right to be the number 1 contender to the national champion, which essentially makes him the number 2 contender, I would presume, to the World's Championship if he's able to cash that in and make it to that next step. But he's been a little bit sidetracked. He was sidetracked with that series of matches with the Cowboy James Storm. Then, out of generosity and out of respect to Sal Renaro's deference to Judas and the proper way of going about asking for a shot, Judas put that contendership up against Sal Renaro, and Sal Renaro came very close to cashing in that opportunity, and he very well could have been at Hard Times 2 in this match. But as it turns out, Judas is way too strong, way too powerful, way too menacing, and he overcame Sal Renaro. Sal Renaro is now banned from challenging for that championship for the next 18 months, 17 months now. He's not banned from the Junior Heavyweight Championship, though. And that now opens the door without any distractions, no Cowboy James Storm, no Danny Dills, no Sal Renaro. Now Judas can focus his intentions and his will on grasping that national championship, and with it, the right to challenge for the world's title. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you're a guy as big and as talented as Judas, with someone as genius and as devious, as it were, as the Sinister Minister, you can't rule this out. You can't say Chris Adonis is one of the best in the world, and he's got to be favored here. But you can't say that Judas is that much of an underdog if he's won it all.
That's 100% right, Doc. I mean, this is a big matchup, and two guys that aren't on anybody's best friends list. Well, I guess Chris Adonis might be on Tom Latimer's, but I'm just saying, two guys that aren't out to play favorites with anybody. They're just out to win matches and beat some tails. So it's going to be very interesting to see these two guys go head to head. Two powerhouses for sure. I'm excited for this one. This is going to be a very interesting one. Another interesting one, can't look past, that could steal the show again. This is what this show's all about. And I appreciate, by the way, everybody for sticking with us this long. I mean, I know we're running late, but it's one of those nights. It's Hard Times 2, baby. It's coming up. We got to get pumped. If you haven't already ordered this thing on Fight TV, how have we not sold you already? And we're just almost there. Like, we've still got a few more matches to announce that are epic, big matchups. This one doesn't get any bigger than the NWA World Women's Champion Camille defending against the legendary Melina. This is a big match right here. I keep saying that, but my God, I mean, this show is stacked. And this one, the Burke on the line. Who can't picture Melina with the Burke? Well, I'll tell you who. Camille can't, because Camille, I would think if you ask her, would probably tell you that she'll never not have the Burke from here on.
Nah, yeah, she's unbeatable. To quote her, this match goes back some time, all the way back to When Our Shadows Fall, when Camille defeated Serena Deeb for the most prestigious women's championship in the world. And in a subsequent Power episode during her coronation ceremony, Melina very rudely interrupted that and set in motion a number of events and actions on the part of Camille, actions on the part of the NWA, actions on the part of Impact Wrestling to position Melina with an opportunity to win that Knockouts championship from Deonna Purrazzo. Eventually, Mickie James took that title. All these things set into motion by that interruption at the coronation ceremony. And then, of course, we saw... Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, it's interesting you bring that up, because we actually have something here just about some of what you're talking about.
Melina, you attacked her for absolutely no reason at that desk. I mean, it was vicious, and I just don't get why would you do that.
For no reason. I don't do anything for no reason, okay? Melina was running her mouth all about me, about a champion.
I guess the truth hurts. When you're a champion, you have to do something better for the people who are going to come after you. You make that title mean something.
No, Melina is there!
Small package!
Oh my God! She got it!
Melina! New #1 contender. I'm a woman who knows her worth. But the thing is sometimes I have those moments where it's like you wonder, am I too old? Am I able to do this? Tonight I felt like it was the universe telling me you were meant to have this moment. So Camille, I'm coming for you. I'm gonna do everything in my power to make sure that your reign ends.
What I'm gonna do for Melina is we're gonna get in there and I'm gonna break every single one of your old brittle bones.
Well, there you go. Melina versus Camille. A big match. Doc, I think you would probably want to point out that, yeah, they didn't show the interruption of the ceremony that you mentioned in that video package there. You could blame that on Billy the Kid Trask. But
Billy the Kid Trask, Irish Pat Kenny, and Conspiracy Corgan themselves, who, again, they've had it in for strictly business for about 1,100 some odd days now. So that you're going to get a very one-sided perspective on this. People want to talk about, the sneak attack. Camille sneak attacked Melina there when we were at the Chase Ballroom and this and that. And no one wants to mention the fact that, well, Melina was the one who provoked this line. Melina was the one who stroked these fires. She's the one who called out Camille first. Camille would have been happy to go on, take her challengers here and there, defend the championship in a very noble manner, which she always has done. But Melina was the one who turned this into a blood feud, not Camille.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on the points that that both these ladies have. Melina, you can argue that Melina started this feud, and Melina has every right to. I mean, she should be going for the women's championship. That's what you do in the NWA. You go for titles, and so anybody that's trying to give Melina innocence here in the whole situation is wrong. I would have to say, like, she knows what she's doing. I think Melina's a little more experienced than that she just innocently stepped into the path of Camille.
Right. I mean, what can you make? What do you make of when Melina says something about when you're the world champion, you're supposed to set a better path? Like, what is she talking about? Like, it was Joe Galley, gerrymander Joe Galley himself, who said when Camille won the championship from Serena Deeb that she did it the right way, juxtaposed against that Winter Shadows Fall match against between Nick Aldis and Trevor Murdoch. I think that was the first of the trilogy. It was Joe Gallo who said that Camille did it the right way. And Melina came in, disparaged the champion at every opportunity that she had and could get. And I think that whatever Camille did in response was perfectly justified.
Well, I know this is not the only thing we're going to have some disputes about for sure, as far as strictly business and the NWA past, present, future go. So we might as well just jump into some other stuff. There's another huge matchup happening at Hard Times 2.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Donovan. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, no. Not on the chair!
No,
Not on the chair!
No.
You son of a bitch! How could you do that?
You use me as a stepping stone to achieve your dreams. You used me.
We originally met on the UK independent scene. We rode from one camp to another where we'd wrestle the next day. Yeah, that's when we became best buds, and we've pretty much been inseparable from that point. If it wasn't for him, there's a lot of opportunities that I wouldn't have got because of my past behavior and other things like that.
Why would Tom, my best friend, do this to me? He's making the big bucks and I'm making peanuts. And he's the world heavyweight champion. Everything's just hunky-dory for you, isn't it? Of course, you get the mansion. You get all the free watches. You get to eat for free in every restaurant in town. Not to mention the free suits I deserve those things. I do. You use me as a stepping stone to get to those things. I want you to take a good, hard look into your son Donovan's eyes. And I want you to say, son, I'm sorry Daddy is a failure. I'm sorry Daddy is no longer the champion. And I'm sorry that Uncle Tom kicked my ass. But more importantly, son, I'm sorry that I lost a best mate.
It's time for a couple of truth bombs, Tom. You have every tool that anybody needs to be a top star in this sport, and you blow it. I don't care where it is, sanctioned or unsanctioned, I'm gonna beat your ass. I did go home and look in the mirror and say I was beat to a pulp. I did look at my son in the eye and say, yeah, Uncle Tom beat Daddy up. But the bit that you don't know is that when Donovan said to me, Dad, why did Uncle Tom beat you up? I said, because he don't need to ride Daddy's coattails anymore, because now he rides Camille's. Because, son, Uncle Tom is just a Dollar Tree Nick Aldis, and that is strictly business.
It doesn't get any bigger than the former World's Heavyweight Champion Nick Aldis going one-on-one with his former best friend, stablemate. These guys go back as far as anybody in professional wrestling in terms of friendship. Nick Aldis versus Tom Latimer in a grudge match. Hard times 2. No seconds allowed at ringside. And William Patrick Corgan adding the special stipulation that if either man gets a DQ in this matchup, they'll be suspended for 2 months' time without pay. This is a big, big match for both men. Strong words from Nick Aldis. Also strong words from Tom Doc. I got to know how you're feeling about Nick Aldis versus Tom Latimer.
There's so much to unpack right now in what we just saw. So much propaganda from the opening scene at the birthday party with Tom Latimer there filming there back in happier times. And I'm sitting there wondering, why is it, champ Nick Aldis? Why is it that Tom Latimer is a Dollar Tree version of Nick Aldis? And that is because you made him a Dollar Tree version. Everything that Tom Latimer has said is true. You had no problem manipulating Tom Latimer and Chris Adonis and Camille when it suited your purposes. But now that your purposes have been foiled, now that you no longer have that trophy, you've got to come up with an excuse. And what's the excuse? Oh, your worldview, your mindset, your orientation, all those things that catapulted you into success. Now you're blaming. So you can go on and continue to get the free suits and the free watches and the Bentleys and this and that. And I wonder what that conversation is like at home and what's really going on when we're explaining why Uncle Tom is not around anymore. Because I find it hard to believe that you're telling me that Tom Latimer woke up one day and decided, oh, we're not going to be best mates anymore, as though he's the one who changed the business model, strictly business, as though he's the one who changed. He's not the one who changed. He's still ticking. He's still going on. Camille is still the world's champion. She's the holder of the belt. Chris Adonis still has the national championship. And if you're in this business to win championships, then it seems to me that they're on the right path and you're not. So I don't know. There's just a lot to unpack, and I'm too personally involved in this, too emotionally involved to have an objective opinion. But just because you're not objective doesn't mean that you're not right here. Okay, this is beyond objectivity. This is an absolute sham. It's an embarrassment. It's a shame that we are now on the Nick Aldis apology tour that you've gone on now for 90-something days, apologizing for what made you the greatest world champion of the modern era. A lot of that was you. A lot of it was you. But a lot of that was also Tom Latimer and Chris Adonis and Camille and the support they gave to that establishment and to that business. So I'm just sick of hearing this, and I hope Tom Latimer finally shuts his mouth and goes on to face Trevor Murdoch for the right that he should have gotten a long, long time ago, a right to compete for the highest prize in the game, something that he so richly deserves. Nick Aldis has said it himself. William Patrick Corgan said it. Conspiracy Corgan himself said it. Tom Latimer should be in line for that championship.
I just think that some people, Doc, think that friendship should trump championships, or that falling back or going back so many years together, at a certain point, you don't put business in the way of what you could say was family. They called each other brothers. And so I think that's
whatever you're saying, here. Gary, whatever you're saying right now cuts both ways, man. It cuts both ways. Whatever you're trying to say about Tom just as adequately applies to Nick Aldis. The difference here, though, the weakness in your argument is that it's not Tom that changed. It's Nick that changed. You want to say
another thing I would say is, I mean, Doc, sorry to cut you off. Another thing we can talk about is that we've seen Tom, and I love Tom, even though he tells me to piss off in interviews. I love Tom, but the guy gets himself into positions for success. I mean, the guy just took on the Pope When Our Shadows Fall for the TV title. He lost that match. That has nothing to do with Nick Aldis. Tom's put himself in position to win championships and has fallen short. He seems to want to blame that on Nick, but Nick's saying that's, now you're getting bitter. You're blaming this on me. And when Nick falls short, immediately they turn on him.
Well, we can go back and analyze every single instance that you're talking about, whether we're talking about that TV championship matchup against the Pope, or whether we're talking about Chris Adonis surrendering his national championship so that he could enter that battle royal leading up to, the part and parcel of the conspiracy series and all those things, where everybody is always sitting down, kneeling for the better interest of the team. I don't fault Chris Adonis for giving up that championship. I don't fault Tom Latimer for anything he did during those 1,044 glorious days and the days before that. Here's where my problem is. My problem is suddenly Nick Aldis loses the title, wakes up one day and decides, I've been wrong this whole time. Apparently they didn't get the memo. They weren't involved in the business meetings where we're now going to let Tim Storm and Trevor Murdoch come on and set and dictate the tone and pace of the NWA. They're now going to own, manipulate, and operate the NWA Worlds Heavyweight Championship, and we're no longer going to be focused on that. That now we're just going to let this loss be water under the bridge. It was never like that before. It never would have been like that. Not with a Nick Aldis from, just 100 days ago. Something's changed. Something's gotten in his mind. But I'm going to tell you right now, the problem is not with Tom Latimer. The problem is with the National Treasure. And he is, and it hurts me to say this because he is the greatest champion of the modern era, maybe of all time. I said it earlier on the show tonight, and I'll stand by that. Something's wrong. Something's amiss here. I don't like what's going on. And I think that right now, frankly, I hate to say it, and I know I'm going to have to answer for this weekend when he sees me. Maybe he won't see me. But frankly, Nick Aldis has gotten soft. Nick Aldis has gotten soft, and Strictly Business hasn't.
Well, one thing we're going to find out for sure is this weekend of Saturday, December 4th, Tom Latimer is about to step right into the Lion's Den with Nick Aldis. And we're going to find out who's gone soft, because these two men are going to go head-to-head, one-on-one, no seconds. This is not a tag match. This is a one-on-one fight. These two men have to go head-to-head. All their skills, all their time together, all their brotherhood set to the wayside as these two men find out who the better man is. This is going to be a big one. This is as epic as you could get in a pay-per-view. You said this about the tag match. You've said this about other matches, but this match is enough reason to buy a pay-per-view as well. That this card, guys, I can't tell you how stacked this card is and how every match is going to be a battle. Every match we're invested in. Every match has consequences for their outcomes and is going to affect the NWA for years to come. Another one that we've got to think about when we talk about the National Wrestling Alliance. One of the big things that we always think about is, of course, the 10 pounds of gold. And we're going to look at a package about Trevor Murdoch and Mike Knox right now.
Trevor Murdoch, you are no champion. Mike, I'm watching that video, and to watch and see how calm and casual you are about the fact you walked in there, threw my kid to the ground, locked me in a cage, and then proceeded to go yard on me with a steel chair.
December 4th, we will shine a light on who you truly are.
Billy Corrigan, NWA Board of Directors. I want Mike Knox December 4th at Hard Times. I want to settle this in the ring like a grown-ass man.
You know what you've done. You deserve this.
If you have a set between your legs, you'll be standing in that ring waiting for me.
I almost feel bad. But not really.
What you did to me and to my son, you will pay for. Everybody's a tough guy, Mike, until you meet one.
This is going to be a huge, huge deal seeing Trevor Murdoch and Mike Knox. Doc, I got to know where you come down on a matchup like this, because this is personal. This is a big deal for both these guys, but it's a big deal for Trevor Murdoch more so than even just the World's Heavyweight Championship. Mike Knox, as we saw in that video, he stormed in to the cage there, and not only did he attack Trevor Murdoch from behind, but he also threw his son down to get there, and our poor friend Tyreek, who was also at ringside. So, I mean, how do you feel about where this match is headed?
Again, and people may be surprised by this, but I've been consistent on this, Gary. You know this. I don't like Mike Knox. I don't like the way this came about. I need Trevor Murdoch to win this match for the sake of the honor and integrity of this championship. You don't just get to wake up one day and decide, oh, I want a shot, so I'm going to go in there and bust up in a ring, throw fans out of the way, throw children out of the way, throw my man Tyreek out of the way, and that now constitutes a championship match. So, Trevor, first of all, shame on you. Shame on you for asking the board of directors and William Patrick Corgan for granting this match. It shouldn't have happened. You shouldn't have given him the time of day. You should have filed a lawsuit and had that man thrown in jail, because what he did that night was criminal. And I believe in the sport of professional wrestling. All right. So you shouldn't have done that. But now that it's been done, you better win this match. I'm counting on you to win this match for the sake of the NWA. This match is unbecoming. It's unfit. It's something I don't even know if I'm going to, well, of course I'm going to watch it. I can't help but watch it. It's too intriguing, but I wish I didn't have to. I wish I got to see Tyrus or Chris Adonis or Nick Aldis or the Pope, or somebody who's labored in the NWA, in the greatest promotion in the world, to get a shot at this championship. But now we've got thuggery going on. We've got balderdash. We've got really criminal activity going on here. And, of course, who's right there to sanction it? William Patrick Corgan. Signing off, him and the board of directors rubber stamping anything he says, and now we get to have this farce of a match. Trevor, you better win this one. I'm banking on you to win it. Believe it or not, I'm rooting for you.
Strong words from Doc there. And I got to say, Doc, I mean, this is actually covered. If you were tuning in on Fight TV tonight, you heard Nick even talk a little bit about this matchup, about how he's almost offended that Mike Knox walks in and, he straight up says he's offended that that Mike Knox walks into the NWA and just demands a title shot. But that's the only way Trevor could get him in the ring, is that Mike Knox would sign on if he got a title shot. So he understood that Trevor felt backed into a corner and had no choice in the matter if he wanted to get his hands on Mike. But Nick said as soon as his match with Tom is over, he's headed right to the monitor, because he needs to see Trevor Murdoch show Mike Knox that you don't walk into the NWA and just get a title shot. That's not how we do business.
That's how it is, man. That's where I'm at. Like, I may not like Trevor Murdoch. I don't like him. I don't think that he represents what the NWA champion should stand for. But even though he's a barroom brawler, even though he's a trash talker, even though he's a roughneck, he's our roughneck. He's our champion. And Trevor Murdoch, say what you want about him, he earned that shot. He went through the gauntlet. He had to beat the best wrestler on the planet, Nick Aldis, to win that trophy. And you don't get to just wake up one day and decide you're a bad man and you get to go in and throw fans around and throw children around and get that match. Somehow, in this world that we live in now, it's happened. He's got a match. So I need Trevor to win this. For the sake of the NWA, for the sake of the hashtag NWA fam, I hope everybody watching will tune in, will show up in full force for Team NWA. This is not about Nick Aldis or Strictly Business or liking or disliking Trevor Murdoch. This is about the integrity of the National Wrestling Alliance. This is our brand, our company, the Meta Promotion, the most prestigious wrestling entity in the history of the world, being insulted. I just heard Mike Knox say that Trevor Murdoch's not a champion. Did he say that in that package? I'm like, what are you talking about? He's not a champion.
He says he doesn't recognize him as a champion.
That to me is astonishing. Like, on whose authority do you say that? Because right now, by the authority of the NWA, Trevor Murdoch holds the only trophy that matters. And I hope with all that I have that Trevor Murdoch emerges from that cage, because if Mike Knox wins this match, I'm telling you, it's going to set the NWA back 20 years.
Strong words from Doc there. This is going to be a big one. As you can see, though, laying it all out on the line. This match is for more than just a title. It's about your pride. It's about your legacy as a champion. It's about the legacy of the brand you represent. This is a big match. NWA Worlds Heavyweight Championship on the line. Mike Knox challenging Trevor Murdoch. Fellas, this is going to be a hoss fight. This is as big as two guys can get going in the ring. They're just, just throwing gloves there without the gloves. And these two guys, they're big boys. This is going to be a good one. It's going to be a fight, that's for sure. And I can't believe, I'm glad we got to the main event of this card. We get to at least be on the same page that we're hoping to see Trevor Murdoch come out on top in this one, Doc.
Yeah. To me, it's a matter of necessity. We've got to see Trevor win this.
Well, we want to throw to the chat just real quick. Like, we've got a few minutes here. We'll just take some time. I appreciate everybody who stuck around. We had a long episode, a long post show, but we're just trying to get hype for Hard Times 2. My God, this card is ridiculous. You want to see it one more time? Well, here you go. There's Tyrus defending the TV title against Scion. A lot of people looking for this one to be the top match on the show. It could steal the show. People back and forth about who's going to win this one. We heard from both men tonight. This is going to be epic. We got a special tribute to Jazz, the legend, the former NWA Women's Champion. Jazz getting some recognition at Hard Times 2. Buy your tickets now, folks, because Austin Aries returns, and he is competing against his student, Rhett Titus from Ring of Honor, and they're competing for a qualifying position in the tournament for the NWA Junior Heavyweight Championship. And they're not the only ones. There's a big, bad gauntlet match. Jeremiah Plunkett, Victor Benjamin, PJ Hawks, Luke Hawks, Ari Daivari, Darius Lockhart, Homicide, C.W. Anderson, Sal Renaro, Kerry Morton, Jamie Stanley, and Alex Taylor all running the gauntlet for a spot in the NWA Junior Heavyweight Championship tournament. Jax Dane takes on Mims. Big, bad fight right here between these two men, two hosses of the NWA, two of the strongest men to step into the ring. Mims is going to be backed by Crimson here. He may need all the advice he can get when it comes to taking on Godzilla. You also got Doug Williams returning to the ring for the first time on the U.S. soil in 8 years. He's taking on Colby Carrino per request, one of the rising stars of the NWA, taking on one of the absolute greatest in professional wrestling history, Doug Williams. This is going to be an awesome match that could steal the show. Mick Foley, the hardcore legend, is going to be in attendance at Hard Times 2. You don't want to miss that. You got to see Mick Foley. And at GPB Studios, if you can even get in at this point, that is an epic environment to get to experience a legend like Mick Foley up close and personal. This is going to be a big deal, guys. You want to be there for Hard Times 2. If Mick Foley didn't sell you, how about the fact that the Ring of Honor tag team titles are all the line when the OGK takes on the former NWA tag team champions Stevens and Kratos? Ring of Honor representing. That's just one of the other companies represented in here, because Mickie James is bringing the Impact Knockouts Championship to the National Wrestling Alliance, and she's defending it against AEW's own Kera Hogan. These two women know each other well, and this match is going to have a lot of fire and passion behind it. You want to see this one, Mickie James and Kera Hogan. This could go either way, and this is going to have this is Kera Hogan's first world title match. So imagine what goes into prepping for something like this. You don't want to miss Kera Hogan meeting Mickie James in the NWA ring. La Rebellion defend the NWA Tag Team Championships against The End. Pero and Odinson, Bestia 666 versus Mech and Mecha Wolf. These four men are two of the meanest and baddest in the National Wrestling Alliance, and they're all going to be in one ring competing for the most prestigious tag team championships in all the land. Will La Rebellion hang on to these belts when they run into the brick wall that is The End? Speaking of tag team titles, you got Kylie Ray and Tootie Lynn, the Smiley Dragons. They're taking on Lady Frost and Natalia Markova, and the NWA Women's Tag Team Champions, the Hex, Marty Bell and Allison Kay, who have been anything but stoppable. They're unstoppable. They are dominant as the tag team champions, winning those things over at Empower and carrying them with pride since. Can anybody topple the Hex? We're going to find out at Hard Times 2 if any of these ladies have a chance. And then, of course, the big one we discussed, Nick Aldis, Tom Latimer going head to head. This is going to be a big, bad grudge match. As you see there on the card, no seconds at ringside. These two are going to have a legit wrestling match right in the middle of the ring, and nobody can get disqualified. Well, they can, but if they get disqualified, 2 months unpaid suspension. Neither man wants that. You want to see a good, solid, foundational wrestling match, a grudge match between two men who know each other better than anybody else? This is it. Tom Latimer, Nick Aldis. It's going to be epic. Also, don't want to forget the national title on the line. Jedias challenging Chris Adonis. Jedias will have the Sinister Minister. Will he have a part to play? We're going to find out. Women's Championship on the line as Camille takes on Melina. Melina has held belts everywhere she's gone. Can she do it again in the National Wrestling Alliance when she steps up to the brick house? And if that's not enough, then the NWA Worlds Heavyweight Championship is on the line when Mike Knox challenges Trevor Murdoch for the 10 pounds of gold. This is as big and bad of an encounter as you can expect. I can't even imagine GPB will be standing afterwards, but we're going to find out. Oh my God. This is just, I was just out of breath by the time of getting through the card. This is what you get for if you go over to Fight TV right now and you purchase this event, you get all of those matches. I mean, what else could you ask for? That is an epic, epic night of pro wrestling, Doc.
I don't care what promotion you're looking at. This right here is, from top to bottom, this is the strongest super card we have seen in a long, long, long time. They'll be talking about this one for years and years and years, and you want to be a part of it. So find your way, whether it's by watching on Fight TV or being there in person. Make sure you do not miss Hard Times 2. I'm going to tell you, this is something you want to tell your kids and your grandkids about.
All right. Well, thanks for everybody for hanging out in the chat with us. We appreciate every single one of you. I guess we've talked about this card till we're red in the face. The only thing left to do is watch it. Hope you've already bought it. Let us know in the chat if you have. If you're going to be there live, tell us if you've bought it on Fight TV. We want to know. This card, I just can't tell you enough how many stars are on this card. How many great matchups are on this card. I see everybody talking about it in the chat right now. Let's buy 100,000 pay-per-views and help support the NWA. That's what you do. Show the NWA some love.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm
Yeah,
talking
Caps,
about.
that's probably too much. I don't
Just buy 1,000. Just buy 1,000. You'll be good.
just 1,000. That'll probably help enough. I mean, they'll be grateful to you for that. Yeah, thanks, Willie. NWA Power is awesome. We totally agree. Bodie saying the card is worth the money. I'd be there if I could take time off work. Yeah, it's they don't get bigger than this. You thought NWA 73 was big. NWA just keeps doing it up every single time. You know, when it comes to pay-per-views, NWA delivers. This one is no different. We hope you guys go ahead and make your purchase on Fight TV. We hope we get to meet some of you in Atlanta. This is going to be exciting. GPB back in the studio, back in the OG studio where NWA Power started. This is going to be a lot of fun, Doc. I can't wait to see you, and I can't wait to see these people in the chat. All of the hashtag NWA fam. This is going to be fun. We're gonna hang out, party it up. Certified, and you're going to go out on the town. We're going to lose track of you, I'm sure.
Yeah, we're going to get some mean certified. Going to shut Atlanta down. We're going to get some pizza like we did in St. Louis, and we're going to tear it up.
Yeah, and
we'll hit all the local establishments.
James H. Jackson bring it up too, and I'm glad you did, man. The new weekly NWA show as well. So twice the NWA. Does that mean we get like twice the post shows? Is that what's going to happen? So
we'll do what we got to do. We'll do what we got. Me and Gary and Will will do what we have to do.
You guys show up, we'll do it. We're excited. I'm excited about the future of the National Wrestling Alliance, and so should you be. Front row, see you, brother. We can't wait to see you in Hotlanta. This is going to be awesome. And Adrian, I hope you get back on that NWA Power train. I see you there in the chat talking about you were watching it before COVID. Hey, man, now's as good a time as any to jump back in right here with this show. You should check it out on Fight TV. I hope you do, man. It's going to be a blast. Just at least check it out on Fight.
Adrian, we've been looking at your comments throughout the chat, man. You've had some good input, and we hope you get back on that power train, man.
Yeah, this will be fun. It'd be fun to have you in here every single week with us. We're here every week after NWA Power. And so I know the Nation's Corner, Front Row, talking about them. All of those people are showing up. That's a giant group right there. And Certifies traveling from the STL. And yeah, it's going to be great. Caps, always good to see you. Dr. Red, good to see you in the chat. Good to see you, Willie, Terry, Bodie, all of you guys. I'm sure I'm missing people. Came up. Fee, I saw you in there. It was awesome to see you. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We got to get out before our families kill us from talking about wrestling all night long. And I'm sure you've all got stuff you got to do. So we'll be back again to talk about more stuff after Hard Times 2, and just check in with us. Check in on the NWA socials, or check in on @TIPW show. That's our show. We're at youtube.com/thisisprowrestling. And yeah, and Roy, you said it here. We accept all NWA fans. That's exactly right. The hashtag NWA fam is as welcoming a wrestling community as you can have, and it will continue to grow. We're excited for any and everybody who want to jump in with us and just have fun. Just have fun loving pro wrestling and watching NWA. We hope you guys do that with us. And we'll see you at Hard Times 2, hopefully. And tune in next week. We'll be ready to talk Hard Times 2, NWA Power, a brand new episode, all that stuff. Thank you, Davis Graham Smith, for being here. And you guys have a good night. And until next time.